Master arrow functions and template literals to write more cleaner and dynamic JavaScript for Lightning Web Components. Welcome everyone. In today's session, we are going to talk about arrow functions and template literals. So without wasting any time further, let's proceed with the video. Now first things first, what are arrow functions? Arrow functions was basically introduced in ECMAScript 6 and it is a more modern way of writing a function. And not only that, it is a more shorter way as well. Now arrow functions are particularly useful for writing concise callbacks and are commonly used in frameworks and libraries including LWC. So when we write down callback function, and mostly it is used in functions, predefined functions created for arrays, right? If you haven't gone through that, don't worry. We will cover up these things with our HTML, CSS, JavaScript course, but that is going to take a time. Now coming back here. So because of this conciseness of arrow function, it is basically used in callbacks, timeouts and such type of places. Now why use arrow functions? First of all, because of the concise syntax, it is ideal for functions that perform simple tasks. You need not to redefine of this. Now arrow functions do not create their context. What does it mean? Generally when we call a function works under a certain context and they create their own context. This context belongs to specifically like keywords like this. So if you are using this keyword, that specific keyword can behave differently, right? That issue doesn't happen with case of arrow functions. So specifically with nested functions and callbacks, we mostly face issues with this keyword. Arrow function is a cleaner solution for that situation, and hence the code that you will write will be cleaner. So this is another reason why to use an arrow function. But before proceeding ahead, let me show you practically how to write down an arrow function. So guys, here we are in our VS Code, and here in the same LWC project that I created in the previous video, I just added a folder essential.js, and inside that folder I'm having a folder arrow functions where I created an HTML and JS file. The name of the HTML is intro.html. It just have basic title and a script tag to include that external JS. Within the body I'm just having an heading 1. And inside the JS I'm not having anything. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm simply going to write down a function over here. So you can see I'm having this show function, and this show function is simply printing I am a traditional JS function, nothing else, and I'm even calling this show function. So what is happening in this HTML, I'm including that JS, and inside that JS I'm calling a show function which I created in a traditional way. Now to run this HTML file, I need to click on this go live. Now I have already set up some extensions. If you haven't watched that video, you can click and watch it now, and there you can understand about few of the extensions that I am using in VS Code that is really helpful for HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now I will just simply click on this go live and it will run and show the output on a specific web browser. Now let me show you that. Here you can see the output, welcome to JS Essential. Now let me keep them side by side on the screen. So right now you can see here I included this JS, so the output should come in the console. So let me inspect this and check out the console, and you can see in the console it is printing I am a traditional JS function. If I clear this and if I just simply refresh the page, I will get the same output, I am a traditional JS function. Now how to create an arrow function? Now similar kind of function, let's suppose if I create a display with an arrow. So what I can do is I can simply create a display or declare a display variable or a function, and then you can use this pair of parentheses, then an arrow symbol. Now this is created with the help of equal to and greater than, and then after whatsoever you are printing, you can print it here. So this time I am printing. Now let me show you the whole. Now you can clearly see I am printing I am an arrow function, and the function name is display. Now with the help of this parenthesis symbol and arrow, we simply created an arrow function over here. Now to call this, all that I need to do is to call display, and that's it. Now if I execute this by just simply saving it, and now if I see here on the console, it is printing I am an arrow function. That's how you can simply create an arrow function. So simple, right? Advantages of arrow function. Now, the first and the foremost advantage is the simplified syntax. For these kind of functions, specifically if the function is very short, you can write down the whole function by just using a pair of parentheses and an arrow. Even in case of return keyword, even if you want some return keyword, then also you need not to write down any return keyword if that is the only thing the function is doing. I will show you that practically, don't worry about it. But if the function is complex, you can also use braces over there. So I will show you that syntax as well, where we will have a multi-line function with arrow. So as I said, it has implicit return keyword. So you need not to use a return keyword explicitly just to return a value. And it is ideal for callbacks and array methods. So I will also show you how you can utilize it with callbacks and array methods. So for that, let's go to our VS Code. So guys, here I am on my VS Code and you can see I have created an arrow function over here. Now inside this arrow function, I am also passing parameters. So this parenthesis is basically required whether you are passing a parameter or not, just to mention that how many parameters are there or if there are no parameters at all. Then after we use this arrow and then we simply write down a plus b, which are nothing but those two parameters. So you can clearly see I haven't used any return keyword over here, but this return will work. So to show you that, what I will do is I will call this sum of two function inside console.log. So sum of two, and then I will pass 10 and 20. And if I will save it, here you can see the result is coming as 30. So you can see it has implicit return keyword. You need not to use the return keyword at all just to return values. Now let me show you how we can have multi-statement function as well. Okay guys, so you can see I have created another function over here which is in multi-line. So I have used this braces. So after this arrow you can use braces, and within those braces you can define the whole function as well. Here I am just creating an average which accepts an array and returns average of all the values. Here I have to use the return keyword because there are multiple statements and I have to mention which of them is actually returning the value. Now to use it, I am just calling console.log. There I am calling this average and passing it an array here. So you can see I am passing 10, 20, 30, 40 as in form of an array and I am saving it. So here you can see it is showing me an average 25. And if you will add 10, 20, 30, 40, which will be 20 plus 30 plus 30, 60, plus 40 is 100, divided by 4 is 25. So that's absolutely correct. So that's how you can create arrow functions, whether it is single line, whether it is returning a value, whether it is multi-line. Let's go back to slide again. Now the key difference from traditional function and arrow function. There are certain differences which I showed as an advantage to you. But there is one of the key difference which is related to the this keyword. So in traditional functions, this is determined by the context where the function is called. But if we talk about arrow function, it do not have their own context. So they inherit this from the enclosing scope. So the scope which is enclosing our arrow function, it takes or inherits the meaning of this from that scope. So which actually prevents it to show any unexpected behavior. How to use this in arrow function? In traditional function, it binds this based on the context where they are called in, often leading to unexpected values. Whereas with arrow functions, it retains this value from the surrounding scope, which simplifies code specifically when we are using in nested functions and in callbacks. So let me show you an example of it. Okay guys, so you can see here I have created two files using this.html and using this.js. Now here I am just including that using this.js, right? Now inside this using this.js, what I did is I created a person class with a property name with value Amit and a greet function which is printing hello, my name is, and this.name. Here I have used the this keyword, and this is a normal traditional function. So here if I will call person.greet, and if I will execute this, see what happens. So I will not close everything. I will just open the arrow functions folder and I will file this using this.html. And here you can see it is printing hello, my name is Amit. Now let me modify this a bit. So let me give the reference of this greet function to somewhere else. Let's suppose let show is equals to person dot greet, and let me call show. Here you can see I have given the reference of person dot greet to this show variable, and now I am printing this show. Now the reference of this changes, right? The reference of this changes, and for it became undefined. So now that is something which is giving very unpredictable values, and it is just a simpler example that I can show to you. There are very complex situations where such kind of situation happens, specifically in callbacks and all. So in those situations, arrow function is a better solution. Now let me show you what happens if I convert this to an arrow function. Now if I convert this to an arrow function, this whole output will become a problematic situation. Now what happens? Now even when I am calling the person.greet, which is an arrow function, then the reference of this is actually missing out, because last time when I was calling the greet, it was taking the reference of the object, which is the person. That is the behavior of traditional function. But now it changed to arrow function, and the place where it is being enclosed is not giving it any reference of this, right? So that's something you will say, okay, arrow function is not resolving it, it is creating issue. It's not, okay? Basically, class functions or class properties, you don't define it with arrow functions. Arrow functions are used within the code, okay, within the logic, within callbacks, and there it is really very handy, okay? So let me show you an example where I'm going to use this arrow function with callbacks. Okay guys, so here I created another file as using arrow.html, and here in the JS part what I did is, in the same person class I defined name property with value Amit, I defined hobbies property with value learning, sharing, playing badminton, and inside that I defined a show hobbies function as well. Okay, now inside the show hobbies function I enclosed an arrow function inside for each. Now if you remember, arrays is having a for each function which accepts a function as a callback. So what I did here is I used the arrow function, my arrow function, as a callback function. So this whole part which is inside for each, let me cut it out. Now this whole part was actually an arrow function, and what my arrow function is doing, inside this arrow function I am printing name property, so I am using this dot name. And for hobby, I am directly printing the hobby. So what will happen, this for each will call this arrow function, of course depending upon how many elements are there in the array. So in my hobbies array there are 3 elements, so this arrow function will be called 3 times, and it will pass that current value of hobbies as a parameter, and here this will work completely fine. Why? Because this is referring, I told you, it inherits from where it is getting called. So it is being called inside this dot hobbies, right, with that for each. So there it will inherit whatsoever the hobbies is inheriting, that is inheriting the this, so this will inherit the same this. Okay, so inside this arrow function when you will say this dot name, it will give the same reference to this dot hobbies, right? So that's why it will work perfectly fine. Let me just save this and go to that specific file. So let me just delete and go to using arrow.html, and here you can see it is working fine. Amit likes learning, Amit likes sharing, Amit likes playing badminton. So that's what I was talking about. So when you use callback functions, in those situations these arrow functions really handy. Now let's have some hand-on on template literals. So what are template literals? Template literals were also introduced in ECMAScript 6, and it is kind of a string which is written using backticks. Now backtick is on your keyboard, the leftmost key, top left I won't say, but just because the escape, and just on the left side of 1. This is a backtick. So we can create a template literal, a literal template using this backtick, and we can fill the value inside that template later on. This is really handy and very interesting feature. So what are the key features? So we can have string interpolation. We can include string dynamically inside an expression by using this dollar and curly braces. And it also supports multi-line, so we need not to use \n. We can simply change the line and it will work perfectly fine. Let me show you how it works. Okay guys, so here on our VS Code I created one template strings folder. Within that I am having the HTML and JS. This is including this specific JS, and inside this specific JS I am having one constant string where I have written proper Salesforce tutorials. Just below that I am using that backtick. So this is the backtick or template literal, and you can see this whole name variable I am including inside it. Now if you see the second case here, what I did was I created a message, and inside that message I am using hello, and then I changed the line by just using return key, and there I mentioned welcome to LWC Essential. And let me just print this message variable as well. Now let me save this. We can go back to the essential JS folder. There we have template string. Let me open intro.html, and here you can see it is printing welcome to proper Salesforce tutorials. So here this variable is being added, and here you can see the line is changed. It is printing hello, and then the line changed, and then it is printing welcome to LWC Essentials. Now what are the benefits of using template literals? So it enhances the readability and efficiency. Embedding expressions directly into strings makes it easy to create dynamic text without cumbersome concatenation. So generally we were creating dynamic text earlier as well when we were not having template string, but that time we were concatenating string with variable and then another string. So that way of concatenation was quite confusing. Template strings are much easier to read and more efficient. Now what are the use cases for dynamic content creation? So suppose you want to dynamically generate user messages, URLs, or some other text that rely on dynamic data. So in those situations these template strings are really handy. Now let me combine arrow function and template literals for an efficient code for you. So guys, you can see here what I did. I just simply created a simple array, and then I used the for each function which I showed just a few minutes back. Inside for each I passed user as a parameter. So each element of this user's array will be passed as a temporary parameter of this arrow function, and here I am using that user as a template string. So if you see the output on the right side, it is hello Alice, hello Bob, hello Charlie. Now let me show you another example for it. Now here you see we have done the concatenation, but we can avoid this concatenation by just converting this using a backtick. So I'm using a backtick and ending it with a backtick. Now I don't need this plus or double quotes, and I will simply convert this whole into a template string. The same goes for this hobby, and I'm saving it. Let's go back to the previous folder. So it is in arrow functions, using arrow, and here you go. It is working as before. So this is one of the advantage of using precise and concise code without taking a lot of effort by using arrow function and template string. Now that marks the end of this video. See you soon in the next video. Till then, thank you and take care.